This video is produced with support from the Government of Canada's Social Development Partnerships Program Disability Component. The opinions and interpretations in this video are those of the creator and do not necessarily reflect those of the Government of Canada.
Welcome to a crash course from NNELS.
This series is designed to give you the tools you need to produce accessible ebooks, making them even more enjoyable for all readers.
My name is Danny. I'm an accessibility tester with the National Network for Equitable Library Service. I was born blind, so I usually read books audibly or in Braille.
My name is Caden Ferris. I don't have a sight impairment, so I can read print just fine. It's just reading print and understanding print are two very different things.
Footnotes or endnotes are informative pieces of text that add context to something that's been included in the main narrative. So there might be a quote that fits in well with what the author is talking about, and then a little footnote that you can click on to find out who said the quote. A footnote's going to give more context to something that was important that appeared in the text, so it might indicate who is credited with a particular citation. It might indicate the venue or the year when that was said. It could indicate a URL of where that information was pulled from the internet, just something to back up or to give more information about a particular passage.
So they say a whole bunch of stuff in the Titanic, and then in the footnotes it might be, did you know that there were half steel, half copper bolts used in this part of the ship?
Footnotes should not break up the main narrative. So oftentimes we'll see footnotes placed at the end of pages or in between paragraphs, and that is not where they belong. Footnotes should appear at the very least at the end of chapters and ideally at the end of books. And that applies for endnotes as well.
So it generally disrupts the reading experience, and it can be, it can really hurt the understanding of the book. So if I'm reading a book and all of a sudden there's a footnote, especially with a cognitive disability, it can really mess up the train of thought.
So what we want to see is end matter at the end of the main narrative, be it a chapter or the book, where all these footnotes are listed. So they can be set up in a list, they can have numbers that correspond with the text, but they should not disrupt the main narrative. That's our number one goal here, is whatever we do, we don't want to break up that main narrative because it could be set up in a way that's easy to skip visually. Screen reader's just going to barrel right through it. So we want to put those footnotes at the end where they're not going to disrupt the main reading experience. The footnotes should be indicated with a number that is set up so that screen readers know what it is and visual readers know what it is as well. And that number should correspond to an endnote at the back of the book where they can find more information. When setting up your footnotes, it's very important to remember that each footnote number has to be a link. In the digital publishing world, we have such an amazing opportunity to direct readers where we want them to go. So directly after that citation or the passage that you want to add more context to, that footnote number needs to be an active link. And it should be captioned with the number of the footnotes. That makes it very clear to everyone what's going on. So they read that passage, they click that note, that takes them to the end of the book where they can read all about the extra information, and then at the end of that footnote, we need to have a return to text link, and that just jumps them right back to where they were so they can keep reading. So it's a seamless experience. They read the quote, they click the footnote, okay, that was said by Benjamin Franklin, very cool. They click continue reading or return to reading, whatever you want to call it, and then they keep reading the main narrative. Footnotes should be presented in a list. That really adds structure to your content. We can have headings separating chapters of footnotes, but we want those footnotes to be in a list so that it's really clear how many footnotes there are and exactly what material we're trying to present.